Hey, what's up everybody, this is Smith24, and today I'm taking a look at the Medicos figures for Jotaro Kujo and Star Platinum from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I figured it'd make sense to do these as two characters at a time, doing the actual character and their stand, because you can connect the action bases, these little clear stands. I'm going to refer to them as action bases, even though I don't think that's technically what they're called, for the purposes of not confusing this base stand with Star Platinum being a stand. It's going to be confusing wording if I keep doing it that way. So, but yeah, you can connect these action bases together with multiple characters. The ones that you get, the default is that you have a peg hole on the back and a flat, solid piece on the front, but you can swap those out and put, two peg pieces together there. So I'll get more into that in a little bit, but I figured it makes sense to do Jotaro and Star Platinum and then do Dio and the World as a separate video. So looking at the packaging here, it's really well done. I like the way that they package these figures and just how well it's designed and built overall. This is the second version of Jotaro, I believe. And I don't know if the first one was a little bit brighter colors or just didn't include some of the swappable parts. I'm not that intimately familiar with the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure figures. I just kind of ordered these ones because they were the character and the stand that I wanted. But you do have some cool poses here on the back of Jotaro, a list of all the swappable hands and pants pieces there that he comes with, which I'll show more of in a moment. And then the alternate faces. There's the pose there on the side, little warning labels and all that on the bottom. Nice label on top. And then for Star Platinum, have a similar thing, a little bit smaller box. The same thing was the case with Dio and the World. Dio's box was much bigger and the World's was a little bit smaller there, probably because the stands typically don't come with as much in the way of accessories. But this, assuming by the name here, is the third incarnation of Star Platinum they've done in the figures, because every figure has some sort of alternate color scheme that they do with them. Or it could be that this is like the third appearance it has in the manga, which would be either Part 5 or Part 6. I don't think it actually shows up in Part 5 at all. Like, you hear about Jotaro a little bit, but I don't think Star Platinum actually ever shows its face in Part 5, because it's not really about Jotaro. Part 6, he does show up, though, so it might be that color scheme. They tend to swap them out, though, from one volume to another. Anyways, there's some more poses on the back, the different faces he has, different hands. You have the weird stretchy fingers there for piercing through foes or whatever. So taking a look at the actual figures themselves, have a lot of nice detail here, a lot of cool color going on, as is typical of JoJo's stuff in general. I really like the way that Jotaro's coat looks like it's sort of flapping in the wind there. I have him leaning back a little bit, but just the fact that the sculpting on the pants and the jacket is done so well, it definitely looks, it gives off a good illusion of the whole fabric sort of look to it. The chain that he has here hanging down, you can sort of just leave that hanging down if you want there, but it does look very nice. It is a little weird that it's so much more shiny than the rest of the figure. It doesn't look weird on Jotaro per se, but it does look a little bit weird compared to the more, I don't know, almost worn looking gold on Star Platinum's shoulders there. You might not be able to tell as much in the light here, but it's a little bit more dull on Star Platinum's shoulders, and I don't mind it that way, and actually all the way down Star Platinum on his kneecaps and his elbow pads there and all that. But overall, I think that the product does look really nice, especially for the price range of these figures. If you try and find them at conventions or something, they'll definitely be more expensive because the vendors, they can bump up the prices a little bit for the sake of demand. But I got these through AmiAmi, and honestly, the only part of the transaction that was a little pricey was the shipping, but even that wasn't too bad. I think I paid like $35 for any given one of these figures, so that's not really bad at all, truth be told. But yeah, I definitely like the way that the colors look on these characters, the attention to detail like on Jotaro's belt there, his facial expressions and all that, really well done. So as far as the posability on Jotaro goes, you can get his head to go up about that high, and admittedly the neck does look a little weird there with the joint so clearly visible, but when you have it down and like looking over to the side, it disguises a little bit better. If you had a different hand and it was holding this hat on the brim there, it definitely look a lot less strange. But the head can rotate 360 just fine. The torso, you can get to bend back and forth a little bit. You can get the coat to go up and down as well. There's a little peg in the back for where he attaches into the action base, and there are some holes here for where like the bar runs through for the joint there, but considering it's on the back and they're pretty dark anyways, like the jacket, not that big of a deal. You have a joint here that moves back and forth, and then obviously you have the up and down joint there. You have a double joint at the elbow, and then the wrists can rock back and forth. You can twist around there. You can adjust the torso, swing it side to side, no problem. And actually there's a second joint up in here. Some of the characters have that, other ones don't. I just knocked his front part of his pants off there. But you can get these two slide around. They don't really go up so much as they go out, which I think is part of the reason they have the action base there. You can get them to bend pretty far. You can get the ankles to go back and forth a little bit. They can rotate side to side, no problem. And then, of course, the toes can go up and down just a little bit. And you may have noticed there that the hand on this side is a little weird. But the reason for that is you get swappable parts for his pants, so he can put his hand in his pocket there and do his, awesome pointing pose there. For Star Platinum, you can get his shoulders there to go 360. You get a little bit of motion out of these, but I wouldn't recommend moving them too much because they are much softer plastic and just kind of held in around the neck piece there. You can get his head and neck to go up and down and do sort of the chicken bob headbanger thing there. His head will rotate side to side, won't go 360 though because of all this hair in the back. You can get the torso to do a little bit less of a bend than Jotaro because of the bulk of the upper torso there. But you can get him to rock around just fine. You can get him to rotate a little bit side to side. The arms can rotate here underneath the shoulder. You can get a little bit of a bend at the elbow. Part of that's because of the shoulder pad, or sorry, the elbow pads there, that they won't allow him to go quite as far. But the wrist will rock back and forth just fine. Will rotate 360 no problem. The waist here will allow his legs to go up and out about that far. They can go back and forth, no problem. Bend at the knee, again not quite as far as with Jotaro because of the armor pieces there. You get the feet to go back and forth, and again a little hinge at the toe. And then you can rotate them side to side as well. I think overall you probably get better posability out of Star Platinum here. Though the one thing I do complain about on this design, just a little bit, is the fact that you can see the connection there for the joint. It like pegs all the way through the figure, and it's pretty obvious from practically any pose, unless you have his arm up like that and it's underneath the shoulder piece, then you can't see it. But overall I do like the way that the metallic bits look on him, and you can see more of his face there, obviously, than Jotaro's because he doesn't have a hat or anything in his way. As far as the accessories go for these kits, I mentioned that Jotaro has another face, and it's got the brim of his hat kind of coming down over his eye. It does seem to be folded a little bit more than it should be. I don't know if that's just it got shuffled around in the packaging a little bit there. I've tried straightening it out a little bit, but it does just want to seem to droop down more, which doesn't make that big of a difference because he's wearing the same facial expression basically. It's just the hat's more off to the side there. You get basically two of every hand, so I already showed you the pointing finger hand and the like half of a hand so it can go to his pocket there. You also get these flat palm hands. You get some sort of like punching fist hands. You get these like pinching hands as if he's grabbing the brim of his hat there. And then you also get these open splayed palm hands. And then for Star Platinum, you do get another head. This is actually the default one. I put the secondary one where you see his mouth open, like he's screaming, or. This is just the closed mouth, sort of relaxed look. You get a set of fist hands, one of which he already has on him right now. You get the pointing finger hand. Another open fist hand. and then the crazy stretching fingers as if he's like piercing a foe or something like that. Anyways, I really like these characters. I think that their color pattern in terms of the paint job and the detailing and the sculpt are really well done overall, and there's a lot of nice attention put into these figures. I admit I do have my small gripes with them, like Jotaro's posability not being superb overall, especially in the legs there, and the fact that you can see Star Platinum's joints in the shoulders there. But, I mean, overall, compared to a lot of other figures out there, right now these ones are above and beyond the quality of those, and for relatively reasonable prices, at least where I got them. I know some other stores will sell them for considerably more, and some of them are hard to find because they've been out of stock or out of print for a little while there. But I think these were a great pair to start off with here. I think having the iconic characters and having them so well done is a really good way for me to start a line of Medicos figures here. So I would highly recommend them if you can find them for a decent price. Get a lot of bang for your buck here in terms of all the swappable parts and the just overall quality of the figures. So that's pretty much it for this review, and with that, I will see you guys next time.